quick video of my garage shop, but before I enter, you'll notice that everything is on wheels so that it can be moved around pretty easily. Glass cabinet. Grinder sander. Dust collection. Drill press. And a cold saw. Right there. MIG welder. Welding station. Fume extractor. Got my welding magnets on the wall. Little rotary table that I made with a magnetic vise from a surface grinder. Makes it easy when I'm doing sheet metal. Because I live in a residential neighborhood, I built this soundproof room with technology from Acoustablock. Basically slide open these multi-100-pound doors. And then you've got all the stuff that makes noise in here. You've got the Laguna dust collection system. Big one. Got a 3-stage 7-horsepower compressor that can make a lot of noise. Again, everything's on wheels. You've got this machine that started out its life as a Velox CNC router. I'll go into that a little bit more. You've got vacuum pump for the vacuum table, plasma cutter, fume extraction. This big box on the wall is the vent for the soundproof room, because you have to de-sound, remove all the sound of all the air coming in and out of the soundproof room. So that's that. We've got the monitor inside the soundproof room, and you got the CNC controller and some specialty controls that I built right there. And also, going to see a lot of these devices in my shop. These are TP-Link smart home devices, and I've taken those and I've written an interface into Mach 3, which controls my CNC, and I can control them from Mach 3 and turn on the devices and off as I need them. So I don't have to run these high horsepower, noisy devices when I'm working, when I don't need them, sorry. I'll focus for a minute on the CNC, which started as a Velox CNC router, great machine by the way, and it originally came with a slat table, which there's a remnant of in the back. I use it as a guard now. I removed the slat table. Right now you see I'm running the 4th axis, just trying it out. I just hooked it up. But I have a vacuum table underneath. Pull the vacuum table out, you can see that I have this on the hydraulic table. I can just jack it up into position, slide it over the machine and bolt it down. And I can use the 3-axis with the vacuum table. Or currently, like I said, I'm set up with a 4th axis on the router. You might wonder what this thing that looks like a tank is. That's a dual chamber water table, which isn't filled with water when the router's in there. There's a tank underneath and an air fitting. And basically you apply air and you'll fill that tank with water, so that when you remove the router head, you can add the plasma head. That's a plasma and an engraver, as you can see. I'll get a little bit of a close-up there. It's all quick disconnect. It's got 2 precision locating pins and 4 bolts. So you remove the 4 bolts, pull it off. All of my heads have the same precision locating pins. I can remove the router head, insert the plasma head. Got a quick disconnect for all the cables. And then The router is mounted on a self-centering slide. I've got 6 plates that I welded onto the bottom. And then I can use these 6 locating screws to fasten it to the table so it's easy to remove. Basically just unbolt it and lift it out. The self-centering slide allows you to change the position. You can fit up to about 22-inch long piece in here. And by dropping the 4th axis into the water table, I can now swing a 12-inch piece. Whereas before, when I had the slat table, I could only fit about 3 or 4 inches. So I can get a much larger piece in there now, which I'm prepping to do a project. And gives me a lot of flexibility. Unfortunately, I don't have room for multiple machines, so I can do 4-axis routing, 3-axis routing, and I can do plasma cutting with engraving, and I got a dual chamber water table to keep the mess and the dust down, as well as the fume extraction. You can see when the dust collector and the plasma head, which are ultimately used, are not required. They're stored up just above, very easy to remove them. Just quickly slide them out and you can stick them into the machine. Or the dust collector, which just sits up there, pops down real easy. Because this is in a soundproof room, when I'm in the room, it's really hard to kind of see the monitor. So what I did was I cloned that display so that you can see the monitor identically inside the room or outside the room. And then you can see what's going on, and you can still do what you need to do on the computer while it's running. Some people will say you can't do that. You need to see my video about the fact that I am running this in a VMware session with Windows 7 32-bit, completely isolated from the Windows 10 workstation that I'm running on. Finishing up the shop tour, I've got my toolbox, which is also my computer workstation, as you saw before. And I've got my small lathe. I used to have a bigger one. I ran out of space and I had to make a decision, no lathe or a smaller lathe. So I'm able to do what I need to do on that. That's it.